What's up, friends, and welcome to the Podcast of the Year episode. This is going to be the best episode of the whole year. Just kidding. Probably not. It'll just be mediocre like the rest of ours. However, we will be talking about the game of the year.
You think we're good enough to be mediocre?
True. Or at least by our standards, game of the year. I'm Don.
I'm Shane.
I'm Corey.
And I'm Davis.
Like I said, this is the Bell Pepper Team podcast. And also, like I said, this is game of the year episode. So we've made our list of our top 5 games, and we haven't talked to each other about them yet. So we're going to see if maybe our lists line up, and maybe we can give a consensus Bell Pepper Team Game of the Year award. And then I'll make a trophy and I'll send it to whoever they are, and they'll be like, "Who the hell are these people?"
Ugh. What a stupid name.
I'll get a package back with just return to sender stamped on it. But either way, we'll see. I have not played anything basically.
I've played
I haven't-
18 games.
Thanksgiving, I played a little bit of old school Animal Crossing on my 3DS. But
You
Thanksgiving was took a toll on my life.
I see. Yeah, no, same. I think the only thing I've played is games on my phone.
Loser.
I played a lot of Sonic Adventure 2.
I know this.
I'm going back and 100%ing it, and I'm probably a little over halfway.
I don't think you're gonna do it.
I'm
It's
chugging along.
100%.
Yeah, it is. But it's a lot of resetting the level as soon as I make one mistake for like the time trial level missions and stuff. But
You're gonna. There's gonna be one thing you're not gonna be able to do, and I'm gonna laugh. You're
We
only
all
gonna
will.
get a B on something.
probably. But so far, I'm chugging along.
Nice.
I've been playing Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. I'm going to
I
go
saw
back
that
and
too.
play that.
I noticed
Old
that both
games
of you
all
guys were
around.
playing old
Yeah.
games. What the hell?
Yeah.
That's this time of the year. But even though we've got plenty of new games to play, for some reason we're playing old games.
Yeah.
It's fun
Yeah.
to go back to.
No one gives a shit about our old games, so we could actually jump straight into news because it's also not a super interesting news week. But we got a handful of things that are of note, I guess. And the first thing I want to talk about here is something that basically happens with every iteration of Pokemon, and it's in Pokemon, in quotations, news. Already, Pokemon Sword and Shield fan beats the final boss with only Magikarp.
Yep.
Wow.
As is tradition, grab the Magikarp and try to beat the final boss with Magikarp.
Cool.
Yeah, I would never, ever, 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 ever have the patience for this because
No.
Magikarp sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And people who like
Yep.
doing this are masochists.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
It's I can't imagine how long it took this dude because to do this.
Probably a very long time.
I'm not envious of him. There's like 400 better Pokemon in this game that you could have selected other than a Magikarp, but that's what this gentleman started. Like I said, not very interesting, but it's something. But a little more interesting, and it's something that I've brought back in the news a handful of times. That Silent Hills game, PT, so is dead now, which is really unfortunate.
Mhm.
But there's some interesting information that came up about it. I guess a bit more of a rumor because obviously this isn't like this game never is going to exist now, or probably is never going to exist. Well, this version of the game will never exist, but there was some rumors that Silent Hill might have sent like real life emails or text messages to the player. So as you're playing through this game, you would just get like random like text messages or emails from who knows throughout the game, and it would just be like, I think that is like next level interaction in a game that I kind of want. Like if I was playing Silent Hills or whatever, and I put the game down, like I was done for the night or whatever, and like I'm at work and I just get a text message for something. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It would be awesome. I'd be like, this game is following me into my everyday life, and it's bleeding into
That
the
would
world.
be really cool.
It would be very cool. So it absolutely seems like something that Kojima would have done too. And
Mhm.
I guess that's something I can definitely see him implementing into future games ish, not necessarily like in the horror sense, but like things like this could absolutely it would fit. It's weird and it's him.
Yeah.
So give it to me.
That'd be cool.
I absolutely agree.
I like weird stuff.
I also like weird stuff. And then on the same train ish, there's some more Resident Evil news. And I guess it's like no news. And this is from the Twitter account Evil VR. And it says no new Resident Evil game will be announced this year. The most recent update from the source is that the next new, or in parentheses, or remake Resident Evil game is planned for 2021, not 2020. They never planned to have a new RE game for 2020, but Project Resistance, which is like that the Horde Resident Evil game that was rumored. So Resident Evil 3 remake not coming out next year. Resident Evil 8 not coming out next year. When did RE7 come out? Last year? 2 years ago?
I think it was 2016, maybe 17.
I don't know about that.
It was when I was at DeKalb.
I don't think it was when you were in DeKalb. Maybe
I,
it
was playing it in DeKalb.
You might have been.
Yeah, because I was on the couch.
I don't remember.
January 24th, 2017.
That makes sense. That you would have been in DeKalb then anyway.
Yeah,
because you were right in that bridge. But yeah, not getting anything new. But the two remake came out this year, so I mean, I guess that makes sense. They got like a bridge in between each of those years. But I've kind of fallen off the Resident Evil train anyway, so I don't really mind too much. And then something that affects me very dearly and Shane very dearly. I got more Star Citizen news. Star Citizen's crowdfunding has passed $250 million.
That is wacky tobacco.
It has raised more than 250,000. I'm sorry, $250 million.
$250 million.
Yes,
that's absurd.
It is a disgusting amount of money for a game that may never exist.
Sounds like
more than in the manner it does already.
Sounds like whoever's making it's walking away with a lot of money.
So this game has been in development since when me and Shane got in it, because when me and Shane got in, it was already, like, we got in right when it was, like, a barely playable game, and that was in 2015? Or 2016.
So long.
It has probably been in development since 2014 or 2013.
Way too long.
So paying for development for a game of this scale and servers for a game of this scale for 6+ years, almost 7 years, probably isn't cheap. So they're probably burning through that money, because I don't know how big the team is, but it can't be small.
It
so
doesn't
they
matter
probably
because
need all of this money.
It doesn't matter because they only come in on weekends anyway.
I mean, I hope not, because I want this game soon.
You'll get it in maybe 5 more years.
But I was also scrolling through their website that they had like they're all their stretch goals and stuff. And let me actually pull it up real quick. So the last stretch goal that they actually had a goal for was at $65 million. So they have smashed past their last stretch goal. So all this money is literally for nothing at this point. Anybody who's given the money is for, there's no reason anymore. It's like they had reached their stretch goal 5 evers ago.
Wait. Okay, so the crowdfunding is different than just buying ships, right?
No.
So buying a ship is crowdfunding?
Yes.
Okay.
Because
so they're not spending money for nothing. They're spending money for a ship.
I mean, they're kind of spending money for nothing.
Sure.
a lot of these ships, a lot of the ships that they're buying don't exist yet, because there's a massive amount. Like the ship catalog is giant, and some of them aren't finished yet. They're just like concept.
So dumb.
It's insane, and it's most of the really expensive ones that are concept. Like most of the cheap ones are like medium cheap ones, cheap in quotations also, because none of them are really that cheap.
Like $2,000.
They're basically done. And the ones that are like a shit ton of money comparatively are still in development, and they're cool. They look so cool. I just need this game in my life. And done.
Do you know
Pirates?
What's the most expensive ship? Have we discussed that?
I don't know if we discussed that, but it's a lot.
The last I remember hearing was the most expensive ship was like $400.
It's more than that, Shane.
That was. I also heard that like 2-3 years ago. So.
Let me.
I'll look it up. You
look it up, because I'm in charge of running this ship.
I see what you did there.
Lol.
$27,000.
Oh my god.
Oh shit! I forgot to do this.
I'm sorry. That's a ship pack. But still.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Why buy a car when you can buy a bunch of ones and zeros in a video game that hasn't come out yet?
Why
So-
wouldn't you do it?
True. Sounds like sound investing.
I forgot to watch this next bit of news.
Moving along.
So we're gonna actually still talk about this anyway because it is relevant to all of us. But the Call of
Okay.
Duty Modern Warfare Season 1 trailer released. It's
Oh.
30 seconds, and it made some announcements. There are iconic maps returning like Crash, and some completely new ones, also all free.
Okay.
Because all this stuff is going to be free for this game. New weapons are available for your gunsmith, and then new modes and special ops experiences, which we don't play special ops anyway, but so it doesn't apply too much.
Guns are free too, correct?
I assume so. I think all of it's free.
Or just
I think-
maps? Okay.
No, I think everything's free. So
Cool.
I'm reading. I should have done this before. Doesn't matter. But yeah, so we get more Call of Duty, more free stuff, which is what I clearly want. I don't think there's any news about loot boxes or anything. Okay, I know I've got them. So Crash, which is from Modern Warfare, is returning. Which is the multiplayer map. Vacant, which is also from Call of Duty
Ooh.
4, is returning.
I like that map.
Shipment, which is also from Call of Duty 4, is returning as a multiplayer and gunfight map. Port, which is going to be a ground war map, which is a new one. Cargo, which is going to be a gunfight map, is a new one. Atrium is a gunfight map. Reinforce is a multiplayer mode. It's a hybrid of domination and search and destroy, which single life mode with both teams competing for a control point of 3 flags.
With one life,
With
probably.
one life. Yeah, I might like that. That sounds pretty interesting.
Sounds
That is-
cool.
On-site procurement, OSP, which is a new gunfight mode. So gunfight's getting another mode. A tactically rich 2v2 mode with a twist. Begin with just your fists and gather equipment as the match progresses. That sounds pretty
I
interesting,
like it.
actually.
That sounds awesome.
I think I might like that more than normal one. Infected.
that-
What?
Wasn't it like called Gun Game or something in previous games?
Well,
You start with
the
a
gun
knife
game.
in gun game.
And then you work your way up to like
Yeah, but I don't think it's
Rocket
you get a
launchers
kill,
and
you
shit.
unlock a new one. I think you just have to find the shit around the map.
Like pick it up.
Yeah.
Like Halo style pick up.
okay.
Correct.
cool.
Infected, Hunter be Hunted is familiar survival party game. Bomb Squad, which is a Spec Ops co-op experience, and the rest are Spec Ops. Grounded, Pitch Black, Just Reward. And then there's free content access through their Battle Pass system. So every player can earn some of the tiers within the new Battle Pass, which is something we don't have yet, but they're going to be adding, including cosmetic items and 2 new base weapons. So the 2 new weapons are going to be the Ram 7, which is a fully automatic bullpup assault rifle, which I like those kind of guns. Integrated Picantinny, I don't know what that word is. PICATINNY rails at 3, 6, and 9 o'clock. So right, bottom, and left attachments. And then a Holger 26, which is a new LMG spec of the Holger model rifle. Integrated sight rail, drum magazine for additional ammunition carrying capacity. And then, so that's some of the content that will drop. So Season 1 starts as of time recording tomorrow, December 3rd.
So all that shit comes up for free tomorrow? Or probably free tomorrow?
Presumably, yes.
Okay.
There's 100. Tomorrow we also get revealed the 100 tiers of the Battle Pass and more details about Season 1. So December 3rd, we get all of it. And we'll get more stuff as Season 1 progresses also. I don't know that they said... Yeah, it doesn't say what the length of Season 1 will be, but if you go between Fortnite and like Apex, you're looking at somewhere between 10 weeks to maybe like 16 weeks to maybe like 20 weeks. But I imagine they'll probably go on the shorter end because then you can. I don't know if the Battle Pass is going to be free. There's the free Battle Pass. I don't know what the costly Battle Pass will be and how much it'll cost, but $10, $16, $12, something like that. I might get that.
10, 15.
Might get that. And then our last bit of news pertains to also not super news,
Super news.
but we talked about the PS5 dev kits a couple weeks back. So a according to Tom Warren on Twitter, at Tom Warren, someone was asking about Project Scarlet dev kits, and he responded saying, "Hardly anyone has them. They're nowhere near final. That's why you're hearing a lot of nonsense about them not being powerful, etc. Microsoft wants to surprise Sony this time," which I think is very interesting. We've seen pictures of the PS5 dev kits, which look stupid.
They look really dumb.
Obviously, that's not what the system's going to look like. It's kind of just like typically dev kits and like when you get like the test models of like even like cell phones, they're like bulky. They look stupid. They're not like it's like concealing the hardware essentially. I'm sure that's what this is. So it's interesting that the Project Scarlet is not available to eyes yet. But I don't know. I'm excited for it. I hope Microsoft's got some cool stuff up their sleeves and what they're going to be doing with it.
Yeah.
I hope both systems are come out of the gate slimmer than previous generations. Because my Xbox is still enormously bulky. And I think I have is PlayStation 4 Slim a thing?
Nope.
So the PlayStation 4 is just
there's a newer iteration. There's not a Slim, but their newer iteration is more slim than
the Pro, I believe it's called, or something.
I don't think the Pro is any small. I think the Pro is actually bigger. But like they had their V1 of the PlayStation 4, which is a little bit bigger. It's the one that I have, and then there's another one that's got like rounded edges and it's a little bit smaller.
That's what I've got. Mine's smaller, like that, and then my Xbox is like that.
Yeah, no, I got the Xbox S.
Even the original like PS4 wasn't overly huge. Like the Xbox One is gigantic.
The old Xbox One is gigantic, but the Xbox One S is nice.
The day one.
I traded my original Xbox for the Call of Duty, or not Call of Duty, Battlefield 1 edition, because it was like it doesn't have any markings for Battlefield on it, but it's like this nice like army green. So
there's no reason in 2020 or 2021 when the next generation comes out that it should be enormously bulky,
unless it's got a giant hard drive in it, in which case then I'm okay. If you if you give me 8 terabytes of data of like, there might be like a system with that big of a hard drive built in, which would be really cool. If you give me like an 8 terabyte hard drive inside my system and you have to make it big, then I'm okay with it. I don't care then, because then I will never have to delete shit like I've had to constantly do with all of my systems since the 360, which is only 2 generations, but still.
Yep.
All right. So that's all the news that I have. Do you guys have anything else you've heard interesting or want to talk about?
No.
All right. Well, then we can get actually right into our topic real quick this week.
Yippee!
We've got we're talking Game of the Year. The Game Awards are December 12th, and we're going to talk about ours a little bit before that so we can beat them to it. Ha!
Yeah,
and we'll be right.
Everything right.
We'll be right, and they will be wrong.
We'll be right. So we'll talk about our lists. We'll rank ours, and then we can talk about a little more generally about what we think. Maybe not some ones that are on our list, but games that we think, this game wasn't necessarily on my list, but I thought it had really good music, or this game was not on my list, but I thought it was like this, or maybe this is on my list, and I think it could be like these things, and we can maybe get a little more in depth. We'll see how strapped we are for time. So we'll go around the squad. We're only doing 5. I've got my list of 8 games that I thought really stood up for me personally above all the rest, but we'll do our top 5s and we can do some honorable mentions afterwards.
I found out while doing my research today that I have only played 5 new games this year.
You're nuts.
Or that came out this year. So yeah.
For the record, we're going to start with Shane.
Oh.
And then we're going to go Davis, and then we'll go Don, and we'll go Corey. So we're going to counterclockwise according to my screen, starting with Shane.
Okay.
So Shane, what was your number 5 best game of 2019?
Best game of 2019, number 5. I'm going to go ahead and say Apex Legends.
Oh.
Came out February 4th of this year, and no one was expecting it, and it is fun still.
Yeah. Probably the most... at the time, at launch, the most unique Battle Royale.
Mm-hmm.
Since its release, other Battle Royales have adopted some of the things that it had, and it's become less unique. But it was a shocker, and I loved it when it came out.
Oh, yeah.
I still really like it. I like the old map better than the new map, but it's still fun still.
Yeah, I've only played it like twice, but I don't know. I enjoyed it.
Any other thoughts, Shane?
No, like it's besides the fact that fuck the Mozambique. I want to move on.
That's fair. Did not make my top 5, but that was actually on my just outside my top 5. That was actually number 7 for me. Davis.
My number 5 is The Outer Worlds. I really Fallout New Vegas is my favorite Fallout game, easily, and being made by the same people gave me a lot of hope for when Outer Worlds came out. And I haven't played it as much as I want to, and I want to go back to it. But what I did play, I really enjoyed. In our podcast about The Outer Worlds, we talked a lot about at least perceived player freedom, and I really liked that aspect that it at least felt that you could do. There was everything was open ended, and you had many choices that all had a unique outcome. So I really like that idea. And after playing Fallout 4, which was kind of saying yes or no 4 different ways and getting to the same outcome no matter what you said, there wasn't a whole lot of variety except for like the main storyline, and that was even kind of mediocre. It's really refreshing for Outer Worlds to be as unique and open-ended as it at least feels to be. So, A+.
The choice options with Fallout 4 never really bothered me the way I feel like it bothered a lot of other people, because I didn't mind just having like yes or no. What I really liked is just like the air in between yes and no, like what people would say in between that. And as far as I was concerned, Fallout never lost that. It was like the shit that they said in between my answers was always what I was interested in more than what my answers were. So it didn't really bother me.
Yeah.
Right.
I agree to a point, but yes.
You have more strong feelings about that than I do.
Yeah.
My number 5 is Borderlands 3. The reason it's at this number 5 spot for me and not higher, it is a great game. I like it more than like Borderlands 2. I like it more than like the pre-sequel. Don't think I like it more than like Borderlands 1. However, we haven't got back to finishing it. And I don't know if it's partially on me, but I don't know if it's on the game for not making me want to play it more. Maybe there's just too many other games that I was more interested in playing. But either way, we did a whole episode on that also, but like for some reason it didn't pull me back in to actually finish it. We played a lot of it. We played a fair amount of it. We're probably 70 to 80% through the game. And we just haven't gotten back to it. And for that reason, basically exclusively, that's why it's sitting right at the bottom of my top 5 and not any higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I did enjoy it.
For literally the same exact reasons, it's actually not on my top 5. I don't know.
You are also, out of all of us, Corey, you play the most games.
Yeah, but like I said before, my games, they aren't like the greatest, but it's still like
No, I know, but like you've got a larger swath of options to choose from, so it makes more sense that that game could fall out of your top 5.
Yeah, that's true.
But what is your number 5?
My number 5 is Bloodstained Ritual of the Night.
Whatever the heck that is.
that is essentially Castlevania Symphony of the Night. It's essentially that. It's a side-scroller Metroidvania game that is fucking awesome. Like it's
got a 10 out of 10 on Steam.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Like, because I was never really huge into Metroidvania style games, and I wanted to try something. I had that for free on Xbox, I think it was. So I decided to start it up, and it was awesome. I fucking loved it.
Cool. I've seen stuff on it. It does look cool.
I was gonna say you're the only one.
Something about it. I guess when it first came out, like graphics were getting horrible reviews for it. Like people hated the graphics and stuff, and then they decided, you know what, fuck this. We're gonna listen to the people and actually, change it. And they updated it, and
it was crowdfunded. It made $5.5 million in crowdfunding on Kickstarter. The developer is from Konami. So
cool.
All right.
Jane, number 4.
My number 4 would be Fire Emblem Three Houses. Did anyone else play it?
I don't play Fire Emblem games.
Yeah, I didn't expect anyone else.
I've heard that it was really good though.
No, it is really good. Not only in the sense that for a Fire Emblem game, but just in terms of replayability. The fact that there's 3/4
Houses?
different storylines that can be played through and gotten, and all the different characters, and just getting to know all these characters is really. I'm not a person to remember this kind of stuff usually because I can't remember anything. But the characters themselves just feel so alive that I remember some of them better than I remember actual people.
Is this a Switch game?
Yes,
For sure. All right.
Kind of want to try it. I've always wanted to try out a Fire Emblem game. I just never.
Is this a good place to start?
This is a very good place to start, in my opinion, because it's very.
I need to make a note of this.
It kind of streamlines everything, not in terms of like how Monster Hunter World streamlined the Monster Hunter series, but in terms of just it was a lot easier to play than like the previous ones on the 3DS.
Because it's not on a 3DS. And it's on a great system instead of a very okay system. All right. Davis, number 4.
My number 4 is Pokemon Sword and Shield, more specifically Pokemon Shield.
Before we continue, my number 4 is also Sword and Shield. So we'll tag team this one.
I don't know where you are. Right there? Perfect.
Yes, that's perfect.
Yeah, so I fell out of Pokemon really hard after Generation 4, Diamond and Pearl, and I hadn't really gotten back into it. I played a little bit of X and Y, played the Ruby remake just because that's my favorite, but barely played any other generations after 4. But I was really excited for Sword and Shield just because it was the first game on the Switch, or first Pokemon game on the Switch. Besides,
giant step forward.
Yeah, Let's Go. I mean, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee were also on it, but that was like a remake, and we knew what the game was because it was a remake of the original. But
the Let's Go games were like going to a strip club. It's like it's just a tease. It's like you could see where this game is going, but it's like I know this game. This is really nothing new. But you're like, oh, the next game, it's gonna be good.
Yeah. I know a lot of people are mad at the Pokemon Company and Game Freak for not including all the Pokemon and only limiting to 400. I don't care. That's still more than I will ever catch. Yeah. And all the new, there's a few new designs that aren't great, but I enjoy a majority of the new Pokemon. And even though it's not super polished, I really like the design and the game and the gameplay. And I'm going to be playing it a lot more than I have the previous generation. So another A+ by me.
I also like Davis. I didn't play the Ruby and Sapphire generation, but I got back in for Diamond and Pearl. There's a reason I bought a DS. I didn't play White or White 1 or 2, Black or White or Black and White 1 or 2.
I didn't either.
2. But I mean, those are, as far as I'm concerned, have been panned as the worst.
Mm-hmm.
But then I got back in with X and Y, and I loved X and Y. And like from then on, I was hard in the game. Like I beat X and Y, I beat Sun and Moon, I beat Ultra Sun and Ultra, or I had Moon, so I beat Ultra Moon or whatever. So I've been in it for quite a few generations of the Pokemon games now, and this game did not disappoint. It was basically, like I said, seeing like the Let's Go games set me up for this game, and I was like, okay, I know where Pokemon's gonna go. It's taken that big step from just like the top down game, which it had been like gradually going there, but there's only so much you can do with the 3DS.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Switch offered the like perfect like avenue for them to jump and make an actual like full on quality game, like the stadium games or like Gale of Darkness or whatever those like old school, or not like those older, more RPG Pokemon games are. The story felt less cartoonish. It was still pretty goofy, and like the character's pretty goofy. It's a child's game.
Yeah,
but
They're also
it was
British,
like
to be fair.
I like the British spin on things too, but it was like less like it was about like friendship is always an underlying theme in Pokemon, but like in like specifically like X and Y, like you had like your little squad of people, and it was like too cutesy for that. Like I was like, this is a little much for me. It's like, but they reeled it in. Like it's just you and your rival you're battling your rival a lot, and you're just fighting through the Pokemon world with some baddies. And it was a decent length game with fun looking Pokemon. I enjoyed most of the new Pokemon. There's only a couple that were kind of dumb, but I like Davis. This game was a very fun game, and that's why it sits at number 4 for me.
Well, that's at number 3 for me for all the same reasons, except for the fact that
we're not at 3 yet. We need Corey, Shane.
I don't care.
We'll skip Shane. Shane, talk about it since we're on the.
Okay,
we'll just skip
You're
you.
screwing up the order.
That's what I thought.
No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed to say your number yet. Go, Corey. I want your number 4.
All right, my number 4 holds a very special place in my heart. It is Toe Jam and Earl, Back in the Groove. That game was
Hold on. There was a Toe Jam and Earl game that came out this year?
Yeah.
What even is 2019? Okay.
Too much for Shane. He can't handle it.
Toe Jam and Earl.
I grew up playing the first 2 on Genesis, and those were my 2 favorite games on Genesis. And finally, like when this got kickstarted, I was so fucking happy. And me and my brother have played through it numerous times now, and it's amazing. It's everything that the third one should have been, but was not.
Was it 3D?
Yeah, it was 3D on Xbox, the original Xbox. And it was not good.
Rip.
But yeah, this one's awesome.
All right.
Tons of replayability.
For sure, because it's not a very long game to play through.
No.
Shane, what's your number 3? Let me
talk about Pokemon, loser.
Okay. So for everything was already said about it, so I'm gonna keep this short. But I actually enjoyed Let's Go because I liked how easy it was to grind and how it made me feel like I wasn't constantly.
You love the most mundane, stupid shit about video games.
I do. But I love to grind, but I hate how tedious it is, and it made the grind less tedious. And that's what I really like about Let's Go. I know it's really weird.
I love to grind, but I hate grinding.
Can we just stop calling things oxymorons and just call them Shanes?
Well,
absolutely.
It made it. The Pokemon grind is rough because your Pokemon faint, and you have to constantly swap out Pokemon to
get your Pokemon.
And get Pokemon to get this more experience. The best part is the instant shared experience, and that's what really made me love this freaking game. And
They've been doing that for a couple gens now.
Yeah, but I just didn't really. It just didn't feel like it. I always felt underleveled sometimes.
Maybe it's just you're bad.
You know what? That's very possible.
And very likely.
Next.
Davis, you're number 3.
My number 3 is Borderlands 3. You talked about it before. I agree with you. I think it's better than 2 in pre-sequel, but it hasn't hooked me like Borderlands 1 has hooked me. And I don't think it's higher because just like you said, we haven't gone back to it, and I know you have. I don't know if it's because I'm less interested in it, or if it's just not pulling me back, or if we're doing other shit. But
I think it's because unlike Borderlands 1, when Borderlands 1 came out, it's nothing special now.
Yeah, it is just another Borderlands, which is fine. I like Borderlands.
And there are a lot of other games that aren't Borderlands that are like Borderlands now.
Yeah. But with all the stuff that we're playing, us 4 are probably playing 3 or 4 games right now that we're just bouncing back and forth between. And I would rather play any of those right now than Borderlands 3. But that's not saying Borderlands 3 is a bad game. In fact, it's number 3 on my list. And even if I had played more games than
number 3 out of 5 games that you've played this year,
right? But like I was about to say, even if I had played more of them, it still would have been on my list because it is still a fun game. But I feel like the fact that they gave every character like 3 action skills makes them less unique, if that makes sense. It's in a weird way. Like there's too many. Like there's still only, as far as I'm aware, like there's one tree or one leveling path that's still the best way to do it. They didn't have like the shield on Moe's and stuff. So it's still falls into build the same way or build this way because it's by far the best instead of everything is the best.
I've never been a one for best in a game. I'm
Me
just
neither.
like, what is most entertaining for me?
All right, but I feel like a lot of the skills are just numbers. Increased elemental chance. There's less wacky skills, and that all that stuff came in with the 3 skills and the and like the side tree stuff where like it changes your elemental damage or whatever. But there's less quirky things. Like in Borderlands 2, the Gunzerker would flip off people to like do extra damage or something like that. That's funny, but there's not a whole lot of that stuff going on. Number 3, still good.
All right. My number 3 is the Outer Worlds. I really, really enjoyed this game. It was a vibrant new world. Like we talked about it to death. Like that was probably one of our more in-depth conversations that we had about video games, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But I love the world. The game it's got the Fallout charm in space. It's got that sci-fi like thing like touch that I love way more than like medieval, which is the way a lot of RPGs are. There's a lot going on for the most part. Like in the worlds, like we talked about with Davis. There's a lot of different like interesting choices that may not matter, but I can't tell if they matter. So that was that's enough for me. Like they don't have to actually matter. If you can dupe me into thinking that they matter, good enough. Because like I'm not gonna investigate further and be like, well, does this actually matter? Blah 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 blah. If you make me think that it matters at all, I'm in. Like we talked about before, my only issue with it is the lack of variety with guns. But this is a stepping stone, and like this is a very bright stepping stone. Like it's a big ass stone to step on to start off this journey of the Outer Worlds. Just give me more of the series, and it. Thinking about it right now, best new IP of the year for sure.
I can agree with that.
Yes, without a doubt, best new IP of this year. It earns my stamp right now because everything else above my list is not a new IP. So, good job, Obsidian. Xbox, don't let them fuck this up going forward. Number 3, Outer Worlds.
You think there'll be an Outer Worlds 2?
There will be a second game in this series. I don't know if it'll be called Outer Worlds 2 or it'll be called something else, but there will essentially be, there will be an Outer Worlds 2. For sure. Because I think this did pretty well as far as money's concerned.
I think so too.
And I don't know if Xbox actually gets any of that, or if Xbox will just see that and they're like, okay, now you got to make one for us.
Yeah.
But we'll see. All right, Corey, what's your number 3?
My number 3 is Sekiro. That game was amazing. Samurai Dark Souls. Can't really ask for much better than that.
Not for you, not really.
It was amazing. The parrying, that was a huge part of that game, and it was so tightly done that it felt perfect when you would parry. Like other games, like you'll go to do it and it just
that was a good parry.
Well, I mean, it's one of the things where like some games when you go to do that, like the timing doesn't have to be perfect, and
I prefer that.
I don't know. This like you feel like you really accomplished it. You feel like a badass doing it.
You're not though. You're a 24, almost 25-year-old man in his basement playing a video game. There's no way to make that badass. And that is the fact of the matter. So I don't want to. I don't want it to make me think that I'm badass because I just want a fun game. But I'm not saying that Sekiro's not.
Well, Duke Nukem was just a dude sitting on his ass watching TV when aliens shut off his TV, and he got pissed.
And guess what? There's just a button. You push X to piss. Nothing complicated about that.
It's pretty badass though.
Number 2.
My number 2. I couldn't decide because there's 2 games that I really want to be number 2, and I felt like one of them would either be 6 or one of them would either be 2.
What?
Because I felt like the other games were on the list.
It's either not on the list or second best on the list.
It was originally going to be Digimon because I love it, but that was a remake, so I felt like that didn't really deserve to be on my list. So my number 2 is Borderlands, and as the person who's finished it here,
just Digimon.
As a trash can for those of you who aren't watching.
What was it?
as the person who has
Borderlands.
actually finished Borderlands here, this might be my favorite story I've played this year. I loved it.
As opposed to Digimon.
I've already played that story.
Digimon.
The best part about that Digimon game is the fact that the two games can be intertwined, so I can transfer Digimon between the games.
Oh boy!
Whoa.
We talk about Borderlands because we don't give a shit about Digimon.
Where we stopped really annoys me because I feel like it gets a lot better from there, especially when you start getting to a higher level. And when I played through as a different character when I played, so I still have that character ready to go, and I would really like to get back to it.
I'm sure we will. There'll be more DLC. There'll be something that'll pique our interest to go back.
The Heist DLC has piqued my interest.
Is it like Moxie's Underdome? 'Cause, I feel like it's like Moxie's Underdome.
I feel like it's not.
I got the impression that it's like Moxie's Underdome. And if it is, that's a surefire way to make me not play your DLC.
You don't want 90 waves of the same enemy over and over again?
I don't want
for 4 hours?
I don't want one single wave of me wanting to kill myself. Davis, what's your number 2?
Modern Warfare is my number 2.
What a coincidence, but that's also my number 2.
Yeah. Wait.
Boom.
There we go.
Your guys are lined up pretty well.
Only twice. Only 2 of them have been lined up so far.
Yeah. But,
And our number 1s are definitely not lined up.
Yes, correct. So yeah, Modern Warfare. Just like Pokemon, I have not played a Call of Duty game for a long time. I think Modern Warfare 3 was the last one that I actually played any length of. But this one excited me because it was back to Modern Warfare roots. It was back to boots on the ground rather than jetpacks and running on walls and stupid shit like that. And it feels good to play. Not all maps are bangers, but most of the maps are fun. The campaign was fun, but I mostly played the multiplayer.
I didn't play any of the campaign, and this makes number 2 on my list for the record.
I could pick up Modern Warfare and play it at any time. If I was wanting to play a different game with you guys, and you guys wanted to play Modern Warfare, I'd be totally happy to play that. So, the fact that I would be happy to play it at any point is I think it says a lot. And the game just looks and plays really good. It might, chug our GPUs to like max, but I have a new computer now, so doesn't bother me too much.
Modern Warfare is by far my favorite multiplayer experience of the year, maybe of the past 2 years, honestly, at least. It's been a while since I had found a shooter that like really grabs me. It's like I want to go online and I want to either get wrecked by noobs or do the occasional wrecking of noobs, as like this game does. Like it's the game feels right, like it plays right, like it is very clearly sped up a little bit compared to like playing Modern Warfare 2 or the older games. Like it's very apparent, but it's not to a point where I feel completely incapacitated like I did with Advanced Warfare or Infinite Warfare, or even like the Black Ops games from like Black Ops 2 or 3 and like 4. Like I just felt like I lost it. But no, this game, like they tuned it right. It plays like pretty well. Like besides after once you launch it, and you have to update those stupid ass shaders, which makes my computer chug for some reason. It runs fine for the most part. I didn't have crazy issues with crashing like Davis did for a long time because his computer was not so great. But
yeah,
it looks nice. It runs well. Performance really isn't an issue. Like I said, did not play a second of the campaign, so I was making on this list exclusively for the multiplayer. I didn't play Spec Ops or anything. It's literally one section of this game made this my second favorite game of the year, my favorite multiplayer experience of a couple years.
What about Smite, Don?
I don't think I've played Smite in like 3 years, so that would never have made my list of anything. I hate Smite. I want it to be dead, and it is dying. But yeah, Modern Warfare 3. Or Modern Warfare, not 3. Modern Warfare, just Modern Warfare. It's a very good game. Very, very happy with it. Corey, what's your number 2?
My number 2 is, well, I mean, according to Shane, remakes can't be on this list, but Resident Evil 2 remake.
That's
a lot of people's number 1 for this year.
I would say that's a lot more than a remake.
That's
also true.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, it's a remake, not a remaster.
It plays differently.
It's significantly more than just a remake, though.
But oh my god, that was phenomenal. It's terrifying when you turn the corner or you open a door and Mr. X is right there.
Spawned a lot of memes.
Oh yeah, I did download the mod for X Gon Give It To You to be playing whenever he's around.
That's funny.
But it's it's truly amazing and one of my favorite games of the past few years.
When you installed that mod, did you get scared and then laugh, or did you laugh and then get scared?
It was I would laugh and then get scared because I laugh. I just hear it. I'm like, awesome, but he's probably this way. And then I open a door and it gets significantly louder and he's right there. I'm like, oh shit! Oh man, it was awesome.
Shane, what's your number one?
We're at the final stretch, buddy. What is it?
My number one is Modern Warfare.
Oh
no, it's 100% Modern Warfare.
I know it's gonna be Modern Warfare.
Yeah. I have always been someone who has been a multiplayer kind of person more than I'm gonna play for the solo experience, and this is the best multiplayer game I've played in a while.
Whoa!
And I've never felt like Call of Duty has ever deserved Game of the Year, but this has brought back the nostalgia. This has made me feel like shooters can be fun again, and I love it.
Make shooters fun again.
Shooters were already fun, damn it.
Is that it, Shane?
Yeah, that's all I want to say about it. We did a whole episode on Modern Warfare, so.
And we've all talked about it just now.
That's true. Maybe I had something to add, though. Who knows? All right. Davis, what's your number one?
My numero uno is Apex Legends. I did not want to play any Battle Royales for the longest time.
You fought and clawed your way away from that game. I'm like, just play with me. Just play with me. You'll like it.
And then I finally gave in on a Saturday or something. I was bored, and I was like, all right, sure, whatever. And I played
more
it
than I do,
and I like it a lot. And I still play it sometimes. I have another couple buddies that I play games with every once in a while, and one of them likes to play Apex, so we play sometimes. But it's something I would definitely like the four of us, or at least the three of us, because I know Corey's not a huge fan, but me, Shane, and Don at least. And Corey, I'd love it if you played too.
We can't all play because 3 players.
Oh, that's right. Sorry, I forgot about it. Duh.
I'm out.
So I would like it if the three of us played it again every once in a while, just because it is fun. I like it better than Fortnite. It is very fast, fast paced, and it's a lot harder than Fortnite because everybody's good at it.
It's harder than Call of Duty 2.
Yeah, it's very. The skill ceiling is way high.
Very skill based.
Yeah. But I have played a ton of it, and I'm going to keep playing it. And I was very surprised to enjoy it. So I think it deserves winning whatever that first place award it won a few weeks ago. But yeah, I think it's a great game and should continue to do well, hopefully, if it keeps getting stuff.
We got Modern Warfare from Shane. We got Apex Legends from Davis. And from Don, we got Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening.
Okay.
This game, compared to like Resident Evil 2, not much of a remaster / remake. Visually, it's completely different. And the gameplay itself is not very different. However, this is the only game that I have 100%ed in a very long time. And that is a standout statement for a lot of things, because I don't usually take the time to 100% most games. Like, there are only a handful of games that I will go out of my way to do a lot of stuff in. Like, I'll get all the Riddler trophies in the Batman games. 100%, most of the besides Breath of the Wild, pretty much all the Zelda games that'll come out, I'll try to 100% them because I love them so much. But Breath of the Wild it's too much fucking time.
You should do it.
There'll be times where I'll boot it back up and I'm like, all right, let me go do some of these fucking dungeon things real quick. And then I'm just like, I still have 50 more to do, and I've done 150 of them. And there's so many of them.
And there's 900 of the Korok seeds.
I know. I hate this. It's Korok poop. You're collecting poop. It's like this.
Yep.
Nintendo, you're making me collect shit for you. And they know it. But Link's Awakening, it's when I saw it initially, I was like, I don't know if I like the way that this game looks. But like visually, the style is very different, but it looks very nice. It plays really well. It is a fun game. The top down is nice. It's like a story outside of Hyrule. Like it doesn't take place in Hyrule at all. I was like looking into like the people who made this game. Like they started making this game without like Nintendo's permission at first, and then Nintendo was like, okay, you can make this game, but it can't have anything to do with Hyrule or the Triforce pieces. So it's like in a world of its own, and it's kind of like it's like got a weird story to it, which is kind of cool and fun. And this game itself has got like the map. It's got the map making or dungeon making component of it, where you can make your own dungeons, which is necessary if you want 100% it, because you got to get like the slab pieces or whatever, and heart pieces, containers from doing that. So I spent a fair amount of time doing that too. And it probably took me, I don't know, 25, 30 hours to 100% the game. Absolutely worth it though. It is without a doubt my game of the year. It was the most fun that I had playing a game by myself this entire year. And I do appreciate those solo experiences a fair amount. So this is while it is an old game and it is remaster, and I did kind of shit on Call of Duty winning Game of the Year, even though it's a remaster, or not Call of Duty, Resident Evil 2 winning Game of the Year with the other awards, even though it's a remaster, but I don't care. I love Nintendo. I'm a shill for Nintendo, and I love Link's Awakening. Best Game of the Year, personally. Corey, what's your number one?
Well, I think we all knew it would come to this.
Shenmue
3. No, I'm kidding. Even though I loved that, it's not Game of the Year.
Not even your top 5.
No.
I feel expected to be number...
Wow.
I know.
Something.
I know. I'm kind of ashamed of that. But, no, it is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order.
Fallen Order was number 6 on my list. It just missed the top 5.
I haven't finished it yet, but I would love to. I want it to be on my list, but I felt like, guys, since I didn't finish it, I don't know exactly about it yet.
It is, yeah, my game of the year. Everything I want in a Star Wars game, it had. It was absolutely phenomenal. EA actually did something right.
Whoa.
Got a good game.
Whoa.
Great game, even. Yeah, the characters were all awesome. Like the dialogue was really good. One of my favorite parts is just early on when you first meet your crew. You're dreaming, and then the guy wakes you up. I think his name's Grease or something, and he's like, "Hey, you were talking in your sleep, you weirdo." And walks away. It's just like cool dialogue. Fucking love it. And it actually introduced one of my favorite characters in all of Star Wars, Marin. She's awesome. But
it's fun.
Yeah, it's really good.
I'm glad you like
it. It's basically Sekiro. Sekiro
like
Star
Sekiro.
Wars. It's awesome.
Hard game for sure.
I set it to little baby bitch mode because I got tired of having to actually time shit.
I keep switching back and forth. Like big moments, I switch to harder, but otherwise it's story mode because I feel like I mess up too often.
Yeah, they call it story mode, but they should call it little baby bitch mode because I do just want to experience the story. I just want to experience the game and like have fun of the game, so I don't want to have to worry about all the other shit.
All the shit.
Yeah, first playthrough I started. I just played through on like the second difficulty, just because I wanted to enjoy the story, and then I started it back up and on the hardest. But oh man, it's awesome.
Recap again: Shane, Call of Duty Modern Warfare; Davis, Apex Legends; Don, Legends of Zelda: Link's Awakening; and Corey, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order. All very good games. Any one of these games could very well deserve Game of the Year, and I think when we watch the Game Awards on December 12th, we'll probably see. I don't know. Maybe Fallen Order could maybe. I don't know if it's released within the time frame where it qualifies or not, but that's actually a pretty damn good game. The only honorable mention I have on my list that wasn't mentioned was a game that I did not play, but I think is a fucking cool game. And my number 8 of my list is Death Stranding. I did not play a millisecond of that game, but I watched Corey play a lot of it, and I was enthralled. I was like actually thinking, I'm like, damn, I want to watch Corey play more of that game. Like, Corey, I want to watch you play more of Death Stranding. Like, you haven't beat it, right?
No, I actually haven't continued since you watched because other shit was coming out.
I want to watch you play more of that game. I want to experience more of that game through you because it's like the shit in that game is super cool. It looks pretty good. It's like weird. It's got like it checks a whole bunch of boxes for a game that I don't want to play, but I would love to watch.
I fucking love that. That was an honorable mention for me. That before it came out, I did not have high hopes for it at all, and then I played it, and oh my god, I fucking love it. It's awesome.
I was talking up that game. I'm like, Corey, I know you're gonna like this game. This game is gonna be great for you. I knew. I'm like, I'm not gonna like this game. I need you to like it. And fortunately, you did.
Like I work in shipping and receiving. I work with packages all day, and then all day I'm just thinking like, man, I need to go home and deliver some packages.
Do you also have a magic? Do you also have a magic baby at work?
Oh yeah,
nice.
That's a game that I can see winning like art design or like art direction or like story or something like that. That's where I could like see that landing.
Is there a category for award that's just called the Hideo Kojima Award?
He might get like the Legends
never puts out a game.
Shit.
He could get like the Legends Award.
It's like a what the hell is this game award?
It's just a giant question mark.
Yeah, what?
I could see Modern Warfare winning best multiplayer game. Probably, definitely. I mean, maybe Apex, but like Modern Warfare
already won one of them.
Yeah, like Modern Warfare. This is like the mainstream awards.
Yeah.
I think I could see Modern Warfare winning that.
Yeah, for sure.
Outer Worlds probably. I can't even think of another new IP that came out this year. I mean, maybe if you count Sekiro. But like Outer Worlds was a pretty good reviewed one, so that could definitely be up there.
Well, that's Death Stranding too.
Oh yeah, Death Stranding 2. That's tough. Outer Worlds, Death Stranding, Sekiro, all these games. There's a handful of very interesting games this year. It'll be an interesting award season to see how it pans out. If it'll be like actually big games, or if there'll be more artsy games. Did anybody play any indie games? Were there any big indie
Goose
releases? Goose Game. Goose Game. I'll probably take on something.
Is you.
I've heard about a lot about that
Goose
one.
Game.
You talked about that one.
Yeah, there's Goose Game. There's Slay the Spire. I think that's what it is. It's a roguelike.
That one.
It's a card deck building roguelike. So of course none of you guys will like it, but I love it. That's like Shane fuel.
Sure. Trash. Pokemon will probably be up there for Game of the Year, I'd imagine. Like most of the games we talked about will be on one of the ballots for one of the games. For one of the like top awards, I'd imagine. So I think it was a medium warm game for year for games.
Sure.
Not great by any stretch of the imagination, but it was at least interesting. We got next year's. I think will be bigger. We'll get Animal Crossing next year and some other stuff.
And I can't wait for Animal Crossing.
So fucking jacked. I just want it right now. We'll end this.
Last of Us 2 also comes out next year.
It's true. We'll end this week's episode with our
bang. Oh,
tomorrow, December 3rd, is the 25th anniversary of PlayStation.
Oh,
whoa,
awesome!
So we've got 25 years of PlayStation. They'll probably do something interesting for it. I don't know if they've announced anything yet or not, but Jim Ryan from PlayStation did a blog post on PlayStation talking about it a little bit. So we got 25 years of PlayStation on December 3rd, 2019. So maybe they'll release a new PlayStation like they did with the cool PS4, the gray one. That was a really sick looking. Oh, no, it was a PS4. 5 years now. That's pretty crazy. It's been out for that long, I guess. But that was a slick looking PS4. So maybe if they do like a PS1 style PS4 controller or something, I'll pick it up or something. I don't know. Give me stuff I want. I like throwback stuff. All right. Good episode, gentlemen.
Yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell.
Ring the bell.
We're gonna try to spitball some ideas for some more programming, some more content, maybe a random episode throughout the week of some other stuff. And hopefully that'll bring in some more eyes, and then this will be the bread and butter that'll keep people around.
Corey, I challenge you to a rematch.
A rematch?
Uh-huh.
Oh dear God!
Your 12-pack of tacos.
2 Taco 12 packs, and Davis has to complete all of one story mode.
That I would lose. Oh, actually, maybe not.
No. You remember how I slowed down?
Yeah, maybe.
You got maybe halfway through that. So, Corey's only going to get slower as it continues. I think that you got to go double or nothing, right? You got to go big.
Okay.
If it's going to be recorded. All right.
24. What the fuck? I am going to die.
I'm very excited for this. So stay tuned for that coming in the maybe near future. We're going to see how this goes. But if not, that is definitely coming at some point in time. We might do something easier in the short future. But Corey's going to eat. Davis is going to play. I'm going to talk about it. And Shane will be there. Peace out, friends.
See
Bye. I
ya.
love
Bye-bye.
you.